Welcome everybody, today we're going to take a look at how to build this cyberpunk inspired noodle cafe. First up we're picking a biome and I've chosen the swamp biome for its color palette, how it dulls everything out and the water is nice and murky. Next thing we've done is put together just a quick building platform. The platform I'm using is smooth stone. The stone has a great texture to it. It's that simple outlined bright color. Now taking a look at our color palette that we're going to be using, we're going to be having a look at some of the terracottas, and what I've got here is I've got next to it the contrasting concrete. So we'll probably mainly be using the terracottas. And we've got the orange, blue, cyan, green and light gray, but I've also popped the concretes here just in case we want to use something that's a bit more of a flatter color. We're going to be using a couple of different types of coppers, waxed of course. We've got the blocks, the cut copper blocks, the cut stairs and the lightning rod, the smooth stone and smooth stone slab, iron block, iron bars, iron door, iron trapdoor, redstone lamps and daylight sensors. Onto woods, we're going to be using some acacia things, some of the warped things, and probably quite a bit of birch, especially in our interiors. For glass, we'll be using some of the tinted glass, the red and blue glass panes, but any color works as long as it's nice and bright. And some sea lanterns. It's going to be most of our lighting is going to come from the sea lanterns. And then for a couple of specialty items, we're going to have a special banner here, which I'll do a quick how to build later, and some more of the wood signs and your glow signs and glow ink sacks just to create some highlights later on. Now let's get on to the build. We're going to start off by using some copper and some sea lanterns and just coming here and building the beginning of the structure. I've started off by putting this column of waxed copper blocks up, which is going to be the frame for our light column, which is it's a 12 by 3 sea lanterns and just framed halfway with the wax column box. And the next thing we're going to do is we come along with our stained glass and we're going to do something of a pattern up here. It doesn't matter what your pattern is. If you want it to be initials for whatever the building is going to be called, you can go with that, or you can just go with some random shapes and designs. Either way is perfectly fine. Next, I'm putting my focus into this first lower floor level, and what I'm doing is I'm putting one highlighted feature wall being this green. I've gone with the green concrete. We've gone with this front bit with the cyan concrete so that it's nice and bright and inviting. Some more sea lanterns, and it will probably put like our menu there, and this is going to be our countertop when we get to a bit more decoration. And then on this side here we've gone with an orange feature wall. Now I've done for the floor some of the cyan terracotta, and what we're going to do is the back wall entirely is going to be made up of the cyan terracotta, so that's going to stretch all the way from floor to bottom, and we'll have these three distinct colors for what our walls are going to be and where we would see them being in the world. Now this would be possibly an alleyway. This is definitely going to be an alleyway, as we're going to have some stairs going up to our second floor. Now let's pop that second floor in and have a quick talk about that. Now we've popped on our second story, and as you can see we're leaving a little bit of an overhang here as well, and we started to put in a few details like our side staircase leading up to a second story floor, a rear staircase just into what will be our kitchen area, and I've started to have a think about how we're going to be moving between the floors. So we're going to pop, to start with, a staircase coming up the back wall, and we'll probably have our next one starting maybe somewhere around here that's going to lead us up to our third and final floor up here. Now once we get this floor in, we can take a bit of a better look at details on the outsides, where we can start to pretty up and decorate some of these areas with some things like the different wood types, kind of like what we've done here at the front, as well as using lightning rods, some of the banners, and some special tricks that we can do with the glow ink and various different ink colors on signs. Let's get that third floor in first, just finish off the actual basic structure, and then we'll take a quick look at some of the decorating we can do. All right, we've got the third and final floor up, and I've used a bit of that light grey terracotta. You can see I've kept a lot of the colors quite bland, and that's because the Cyberpunk, you kind of want things like your sea lanterns and what we're going to be doing with our glow ink to stand out and really bring all the life. So I've popped this third and final floor, given a little bit of almost a rooftop garden, and of course some railing to keep us in there, and just pop that roof on with the smooth stone again, and leaving a flat edge here so that we could build a wall, a building directly next to it. A little bit of an overhang in the areas where it doesn't matter, and again here we probably could have an overhang, but I've left it without so it matches on the other side. Now let's take a look at some of the detailing we can do. I think we'll start from the top down. We'll go to the roof. And what I'm going to pop on the roof is we're going to go with some of these bits and pieces that we've got here. This one and this one. And I'm going to use these daylight sensors as something like a solar paneling up on the roof, and let's pop a little vent there. We could pop some what are they called? The minecart rails on there. Kind of looks like it's an exhaust vent. And then over here, I'm going to fill this whole area out just with these iron blocks. And I know that's a bit expensive, but you could always use more of the smooth stone. You could use the white concrete, something a little less expensive. And we're just going to go with a real simple sort of radio broadcast tower, varying heights, gives it some feeling like it is a little bit of a structure that is transmitting a signal. We'll pop some redstone torches down. You might even want to pop on your highest point here a lightning rod that's going to keep your area safe during any thunderstorms. And just for the matter of lighting this area up, you might want to put down some glow lichen, or if you've hit the end, you could get some end rods. But end rods aren't exactly, starter based material. So yeah, glow lichen will give you enough of a shine coming off the roof without being particularly expensive. Now let's head into this space here. And what I want to do is I want to pick up some of these things here. We want to get some of the acacia fences. We're going to use acacia doors through. Oh, I need to, let's just clear the inventory. We want some acacia fences and acacia doors and acacia signs and acacia everything. We'll go with acacia everything. We'll throw in these into our mix and our tinted glass. I think that's a good starting point for our decorations. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come along, and all my window points I'm going to use the tinted glass, mostly because I just like the way it looks. You might prefer white glass, a grey glass, a no glass, however you want to do that. I'm going to use for the internal doors in here, we're going to go with the acacia doors. They feel just a little bit more rusty and maybe almost flimsy. And for a little bit of detailing up here, we're going to, because this area doesn't get the greatest of light unless we hide a light source. So I'm going to hide a light source up here, and we're going to take this across here like so. Bit of this. Could probably throw some gates in here if you feel like this is a little harsh. You throw some gates in there as well, and pop these just like this. Do you know what? I'm not loving these connected. Oh, that was not intentional. I'm not loving these connected textures going on with the doors. So I'm going to grab myself a lightning rod, and I'm just going to pop it down here. They connect into the fences really nicely like that, and we don't have the connections here. While we're here, let's just pop one on the top just like that. All right, now we've got something here that we can hang some banners off. We could hang some lanterns off here. In fact, there we go. Let's pop some lanterns here. We're now got this whole area is lit up and spawn proof, and it kind of fits in with that theme as well. We could even pop one there if we're feeling so inclined. And whilst right now I think that already is looking pretty good, we're going to pop some banners along here as well, just to give it a little bit more character, a little bit more detail. Let's head on a bit further down now. What I'm going to do here is I am going to create, let's have a think here. We're going to do some of this here. going to knock out the bottom ones, and then I'm going to come up underneath and we're going to create some bars just like that. They look a little bit support beam-ish. It works. It works. What can I say? That's also another option that you can do, but I find that this thicker bar in the middle, it's not the element that I'm looking for. I kind of like that notion, but we'll leave that there as, you know, that's another option that we can go with. Now for here, we want to give it a little bit of a decoration. I think we're going to pop some seats. We'll use some seats. You know what? We'll get some scaffolding. Scaffolding makes some great little side tables. All right, so we've got the scaffolding. We'll pop a couple of seats here, a couple of side tables going on in here. And now that space, it's a little dull at the moment, but what we can do is we can come through, we can pop some pots on, azalea bushes, flowering azalea bushes, all sorts of things in there, brighten that up, lighten it up, make it look fantastic. You could even make this maybe a bit of a planter box, put a grass there, bamboo growing, something along those lines. But we're going to come back through and we're going to brighten this whole thing up in just a minute. First of all, let's head down to this bottom floor and we're going to put in 3 chairs for our noodle cafe, just like this. Oh, zoom in for you. There we go. We've got 3 chairs that will serve our noodle cafe, and we'll have to put in our little commercial kitchen in there, but I'll put together some interiors and show you guys some ideas that you can do, because it's always good to throw your own little spin on things. But just to show you this little trick, what we'll do, we'll grab some of these warped signs, we'll grab some glow ink sacks, and I'm going to grab some item frames as well. And just behind on here, we're going to have our menu items. Now, what I like to use is some rabbit stew and beetroot soup and suspicious stew and mushroom stew, and even the pumpkin pies on here. They look fantastic. They look like bowls, and maybe even a dessert item in there. And we can, if you want to, you could even have them up here as a nice accessible view to the outside. And this is sort of like your inside menu. Now, this trick, we're going to come along here. I'm going to use equal signs. We're going to go top and we're going to go bottom, just like that. And we're going to go along and do it on each one of these here. Right, now if I've wrapped them around the building a little bit here, and let's take a look at just what we can do, because this doesn't look like anything particularly special, but we could go ahead and we'll dye these ones all red as an example, and we'll give these ones the example of yellow, and then we're going to go along with our glowing, and it looks just like neon lighting all the way along, just like this. And it really will make a cyberpunk build pop if you get some of your any matching color, really. Like I find that the warp, that cyany color for the warped, is going to work a lot in this kind of color palette. But if you're using lots of grays, you might want to use perhaps birch. You know, use your discretion, but any sort of designs that you put on here and then throw the glow ink with a color on, it's going to really make it pop, especially when we hit night. And we'll have a look at night a little bit later on when we've done a little bit more of the decorations. Now, let's get on to a little bit of our decorating, and I'm going to start with the interior. All right, now for the interiors, I've thrown together another quick palette here, and I've definitely missed some things, but you're going to see them in there anyway. We've got the pots, the azaleas, I've got bamboo in it as well, some of the scaffolding, various different birch items, paintings, tripwire hooks, ladders, some iron bits and pieces, some levers. I'm not sure if I actually ended up using levers. Campfires, some, again, the azalea things, the warp things, some smooth stone stairs, some of these different decoration blocks, your beehives, composters, bookshelves, cauldron, smoker, barrels. We'll get to the sign in a minute because I haven't actually popped them up yet. I want to quickly run through how to make that one. We've got some coarse dirt, end rods, although they're kind of interchangeable with the lanterns, and yeah, and like I said, I'm sure I've missed some stuff, so let's duck on over and have a quick look. And what we've done out the side is we've just added a bit of coarse dirt, a bit of grass in there, a little bit of bamboo to give it a feel of that. And here I've popped a lantern, but I actually would recommend using end rods. They're a bit more cyberpunky, but if you, again, if it's a starter house and you haven't gotten to the end, the lanterns work just fine. And these beehives act as fantastic little storage boxes, delivery boxes. And back here we've popped some of them sort of as rubbish, and a bit of a dumpster going on back here, again for the rubbish, and just a iron bar gate. Now, this is a little trick that my friend Aerington had shown me. The light grey candles on top of iron bars make absolutely fantastic fence toppers. They blend in really well. It just makes it look like we've got some points on there without having to have this horribly big iron sticking out. And on the back of the wall here, we've popped what would you call it, like a safety railing, an emergency exit, and a ladder that leads us all the way to the roof, and just some doors that will lead us right into those second and third stories. Now, if we pop in here, we've got our kitchen, and we've done the campfire underneath the smoker trick, bit of a canopy going on. Some item frame with the fish kind of makes it look like we've got a plate ready to get popped into the smoker. And of course we've popped in some storage, plenty of storage, lots of hidden lighting. We've got some more sea lanterns behind there, and sea lanterns here, of course, spilling some lighting, the sea lanterns here. And having the canopy of the what are these called? Iron trapdoors is going to make this nice and spawn proof with all the lighting, delivery box there. And if we head on into the second floor, we've got our exit to our emergency exit here. And we have a little bit of a lounge dining room going on, TV, some more storage here, of course, our alternate entrance by the alleyway there, and of course our balcony here. And I've added a few more of these signs. I went with I actually changed them all up to the cyan because that's a nice sort of neon looking color. And if we let myself in, head into here, we've got a bit of a bathroom going on. Not the greatest water in the sink, but that's a trade-off for being in the swamp, I suppose. So we've got a little bit of a bathroom going on, and of course, top floor, the bedroom, plenty more storage going on. You know what, we might even just go boop and support those barrels there. A little bit of a bedroom, and here we could put some more storage if we wanted to. I've got some light hidden here, and again, we've got enchanting table. Can't get a full enchanting setup in here, but it's nice to have just a little bit of something that we could consider an option in there. And then again, we've done out here before, showed you that before. Let's head down. Let's take a look at this banner and just how to make it. Now, I'm going to try and link the original tutorial video for this if I can remember it, if I can find it, but it's actually not too difficult. We start with a yellow banner base on our loom, and we come here with our brown die, and we want to find this one, the cross pattern here, and collect that one. Then we're going to do with our base color, which is our yellow, we're going to do the same thing again. That's going to give us our sort of chopstick lines. Next thing we need is our circle pattern in the middle, which is going to give us our rice, and then we need to build the bowl. So the bowl is going to be by getting the brown die and going the entire bottom of the banner just like this. Now, next to, we need to shape the bowl, so we're going to take this one, which is going to give us that edge of the bowl in here like that. Take that one and the sort of lower third of the thing, and what's it called? A banner, the lower third of the banner, and we wind up with this really cool rice with chopsticks bowl looking thing. And what we're going to do is we're just going to come along here. We're going to put a few banners in to make it look like it's a noodle shop, just like this. And we can put a couple more. And of course, you don't just need to use these banners. I like using some other red ones that have like the flower burst design going on, but here it is, that final product. And let's jump on into shaders and jump on into some rain and have a look at just how this is looking. The shaders do take away from the stained glass, which is unfortunate, but we'll have a look at it in rain, we'll have a look at it in shaders and out of shaders and see that final product. Okay, here we go. We have it in shaders, and you can see just how bright that neon kind of looks from the signs here, especially in the shaders. Even out of the shaders, it looks great. And if we toggle, no, that's not how it works. Weather, rain, and boom, that's gonna get us that sort of that dark and dingy cyberpunky feel. Oh, that looks so much better. Even the glass kind of comes out a little bit with that one, doesn't it? And we can see just how that's going. Oh, you know what we didn't do? We didn't put some banners here. Maybe these banners are just a bit too bright for it. So how about we get some red banners in here? Oh, red banner. Here we go. Let's get some red banners in here just to give it a bit of a color difference. Now, these could have designs. Obviously, I haven't popped any on there. It kind of makes that garden a little bit more private. That's looking really fantastic in the shaders, just like that. And what's going to happen if we go with time, set, time, set, night. We plunge that into darkness, and that just really makes all those various colors pop, and we really have this fantastic cyberpunk looking build. We could even get a little bit more lighting up onto here, just like this, but because of the way that we've done it here, I've put this so it is unspawnable. It's spawn proof, that's the word I'm looking for, but obviously any form of neon lighting does lift a cyberpunk build quite a lot. And there you have it, my friends. This is my take on a cyberpunk noodle cafe. I love how this looks. I love how it's come out. I hope that has given you some inspiration on how you can build your own cyberpunk builds. So friends, until next time, thank you for watching. Consider subscribing if you haven't already, and I will catch you in the next one. See you later.